This Spirit Halloween used to be a Chuck E. Cheese, located in Bridgewater, New Jersey. I visited this one many times in the past, from when they were open and had their animatronic to when they unfortunately closed in 2024. Ever since then, with every visit, I always wanted to go inside, but never could until now. With Spirit Halloween moving in, I can finally enter the building and search for what's left behind from Chuck E. Cheese, including getting an exclusive look from behind the stage. But before I do all that, let's see everything Spirit Halloween has to offer, starting with, what the heck is this? Yeah, this definitely isn't the full display Spirit has this year, and that's because this location is too small. So instead we have this thing, but hopefully they pick some cool animatronics. Right in the front you have Monkey Business, which I can't believe they made this one a clown with a name like that, because I think them having a full monkey animatronic would have been cooler, like they had in the past. But instead we got this dude with a box and the monkey head pops out of it. Cool concept, but different from what I expected based off of the name. Around the corner you're greeted with Twisted Grandma, who's not only twisted in the head, but also her body. Yeah, I definitely won't be trying any of her cookies. I personally like this one a lot, and it's different from most of the animatronics. I don't recall Spirit ever having a grandma prop before, so I'm glad they do now. As you make your way along, you run into, hey look, it's Chuck E. Cheese. Wow, I didn't expect to see him here. I mean, he's a little tired, but after all those years of performing in this building, you gotta cut him some slack. Just because he's super extremely ugly now, doesn't mean he can't move around just the same. Or maybe it does. Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese might need to retire. Moving away from that, we already have the last animatronic because this display is so small. And that would be Crib Countless. She has a unique design, and I like the way she moves around. But they might need to turn up the speaker because I could barely hear what she was saying. Yeah, that was actually the loudest thing I ever heard. But with that being it for the display, let's see all the animatronics they have in stock, which is surprisingly a good amount. Right in the front here, you have 3 of these Night Owl animatronics. I actually saw this one at the flagship location, and he was pretty big, but wasn't one of my favorites just because he's pretty simple. You also have a bunch of these electrified corpses. They usually have them hanging inside the train and getting electrified and whatnot. And I thought they had 4 of him, but actually behind this one is a different animatronic called Two-Faced Teddy. I've yet to see this one on display, but maybe I will by the end of the year, or at least the Halloween season. You also have 2 of these Monkey Business animatronics, and then you have 3 of these dog animatronics, which I've seen at every location so far, but never on display. Moving over here, you have another Two-Faced Teddy. You also have the Twisted Grandma. You have a bunch of these sitting scarecrows, but some of them are just normal, and then others are scary. And then right in the middle here, they have this poster of every animatronic for this year. I remember when they released this, I thought that was going to be in stores, but I guess it's not. You have 2 of Jack the Reaper animatronics. You have 2 of these Sinister Strawman boxes. This is one of my favorite animatronics for this year, but I still get surprised of how big this box is. It's actually almost half my height. You have a couple of these Bullseye animatronics. I thought this was a really unique looking one. Here's Headcase Harry. The main thing with him is that he has 2 faces. And then all the way at the end, the last one is Crib Countless. This is the one they have on display in here. But sadly, out of all of these, they don't have the Chuck E. Cheese animatronic. I thought for sure out of any location, they would at least have that, but I guess he's sold out. Now, before I look for everything Chuck E. Cheese related, let's check out all of the decorations and costumes they have. I found some stuff I've never seen in any other store. Starting right here with the inflatables, I usually never really look at these because I'm more of a fan of animatronics rather than inflatables, although I think some of them can be cool. Like this pumpkin scarecrow is kind of unique, and they also have Young He at the bottom here, which is an animatronic at Spirit this year, but of course this store doesn't have it because it's just way too big. Although I've never seen this inflatable, I didn't even know this was a thing. But the one that really caught my eye was right here, the dual mask inflatable. Apparently this can have 2 faces. Oh, and that thing just started moving. They also have a couple animatronics just laying around, like this one right here, the Empty Soul Girl on a swing. I've never seen that one on display, but I can imagine what it does. At the bottom here, you have Grave Watcher, which is actually an old animatronic from 2013, but then they brought it back in recent time. And then, of course, you have the Jumping Spider. They will never not have a bunch of these, and it only costs 60 bucks. I'm gonna say this every video, and I don't care. I hope to see this every year until Spirit shuts down permanently. Over in this section, you have the zombie babies. They're always just thrown up on a shelf. They no longer get their own display, which is a shame because they had some really cool ones in the past, but at least they still make them. This is a new thing they've been doing. It's called the Horror Babies, where they take a popular character and make it a baby. You got Art the Clown, and then here's Frankenstein's monster. Not Frankenstein. That was a close one. I called it Frankenstein in the past and people got mad. But there's actually a couple new ones I've never seen before. Like this one right here, where when you press the button, it actually starts crawling. Look at that. That's actually pretty neat. Oh, but this one's really cool. You got this big zombie baby eating an ice cream cone with glass all over it. Now, this looks like something they would have made back in the day. I mean, they probably would have added some blood back then, but it's still cool nonetheless. This is probably my favorite zombie baby in recent time. The hanging props are usually hit or miss. I never really look at them because they're always the same stuff. Like, I've literally seen this guy every single year. Not that I hate him, but there's nothing new to say. However, this one was pretty unique. You got this vampire that looks like Nosferatu. Although I never really bought outdoor props back then, I would have considered this. You have this section called Killer Critters, and it's all these animals just completely beat up. Here's this rat. It's like Chuck E. Cheese's son or something. I saw this raccoon before. I don't even know what happened. You have these pigs, which they look kind of happy. I don't know. I don't think they're that hurt. And then you got some cats. Yeah, I think I'll pass. I'm not going to adopt these. And then you have the classic black cat at the bottom. Here's spooky skeletons, where it's every skeleton animal you could want. You got these at the top right here. You got some creatures from the sea. Here's a killer fish. And then you got some other stuff that I don't feel like pointing out. But obviously, if you want regular skeletons, they have a bunch of that as well, with all these different faces right here. And even this pink one at the bottom. You guys have no idea, but my skeleton is actually pink on the inside. You have a bunch of tombstones right here. Not really much to say about them. They kind of just are what they are. However, Spirit did come out with a thing this year where you can make the tombstone move back and forth. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. But some of these do have buttons, like this one right here. Got the glowing eye. And then this one at the bottom. That bell goes all around. Not really sure what it's saying, but that was definitely not the sound I expected. I really don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that. Like the most random noises ever. You also have these statues that I think are kind of neat. I've never seen this Art the Clown one. You also have Tales from the Crypt. I actually watched this entire show back in the day. You also have Chucky that lights up, and then Frankenstein's monster at the top. Now here's an animatronic over here that I've never heard of. It's called Sadistic Sadie, and she spins her head completely around. I doubt they ever had this one displayed, but I've never even seen it in stores. And here's this thing called Sinister Spirit Doll that looks like the girl from The Ring. I will not be taking that home. But now it's time to check out some of the costumes. I always start at the funny ones, even though I don't really laugh. I'm a grumpy old man now. But we got sumo wrestler right there. You also have this party pooper one, which is actually the title of the new Wimpy Kid book this year, so I definitely have to read that. But no, I won't be wearing this costume while doing it. You also have a bunch of random food, because why not? I like how this one can't just be called hot dog. They have to put the works hot dog. And then you got this goofy looking gorilla. I have never seen this one. This is the gorilla outfit I'm used to. Now, usually I enjoy the inflatable ones. I remember when we had this Fall Guys one and it just towered over everyone. You're definitely not going to blend in with that. In this section, it's about the Bikini Bottom, and they actually tell you the population. It's 538. That's a nice random fact. But of course, it's a bunch of SpongeBob costumes. And if you want, you can even wear some SpongeBob drip. It's nice and fuzzy. In this section, it's all about Squid Game, where in some locations they actually have the giant animatronic of her, but once again, they don't here. However, you can't escape her face staring right at you. Now, as for everything left behind from Chuck E. Cheese, you have little things like the decor outside, the classic red doors that you would see at their locations, the exit and entrance signs are from there, and all of these markings around the store are from old artwork that would hang on the purple wall that is still visible. Also, this carpet is still original, although I don't think anyone in the world would notice that. But the most interesting part is in the back, where you can see the outline of the animatronic stage. It's all still on the ceiling, however, with the wall being there, mostly everything is covered up. But I wanted to see if there was anything there, and the worker was nice enough to let me walk in the employees only section to see behind that wall and into the stage. Although there unfortunately wasn't much to look at, I still enjoyed it and was thankful the worker let me. Now, will this be the final time I visit this location, or will I have to return once more? I guess we'll find out in time. Make sure to subscribe and buy merch, link in the description.